Yeah, now we're talking, boys.
Caitlyn Clark. I didn't know a lot about her. Like, I knew who she was, obviously, but just this past year,
she is the only reason I watch basketball.
Oh no,
women's
basketball.
Truly.
Women's basketball.
No, basketball.
Truly.
I never watched the NBA before.
Really?
I swear.
I actually tune into Caitlyn Clark now. It's so dope. I mean, the Indiana Fever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then I remember
No one knew what the Indiana Fever was a year ago.
No,
and it doesn't matter. I understand there's some OGs out there that are upset.
WNBA star Caitlyn Clark is making a strong statement. She won't let the NBA use her for publicity. That's why she's turning down the opportunity to compete in the NBA All-Star Weekend 3-point challenge. But why is she saying no, and how does she feel about the NBA possibly using her for publicity? Before we dive into the details, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy WNBA content.
When we talk about Caitlyn Clark, the first time the NCAA game was on ABC was last year. So in order to give something a chance to succeed, don't bury it in NFL Sundays. Give it a chance.
In the last month, Caitlyn Clark has found herself in the spotlight.
Whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlyn Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef, but the media keeps going on. So how do you feel about that situation?
Caitlyn is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. We've been playing each other since high school. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her, and I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very...
Recently, there's been a lot of talk about Caitlyn Clark. People are debating her influence on the WNBA and whether she should be part of Team USA for the Paris Olympics. But some commentators have used this moment to bring up unrelated topics like race and bigger social issues, which have little to do with Clark herself.
Just back up and shoot it from further back, too.
There you go. Okay, how far can you go? Steph Curry range is no problem for you.
Yeah, no problem.
You're the best.
Caitlyn Clark has made it clear that she won't be participating in next month's NBA All-Star Weekend 3-point challenge. Instead, she's choosing to debut in the WNBA's own 3-point contest at the All-Star Game in July. Her team at EXL Sports Management confirmed that Clark's decision is to make her first 3-point contest experience a part of the WNBA All-Star event. This choice adds an interesting twist, especially after last year's exciting matchup between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. Curry won that contest 29-26 in a thrilling round that grabbed more attention than the NBA's usual 3-point contest. The event was held at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, but Ionescu hasn't said yet whether she will take part in any NBA All-Star Weekend activities this year. She's currently playing in the new professional women's 3x3 league, which launched last month. Ionescu did mention recently, however, that she will miss some games due to other commitments, including her absence last week when she was in Paris for the NBA Paris Games. She's also expected to be in the Bay Area for NBA All-Star Weekend. Meanwhile, the WNBA's All-Star Weekend will be held in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home of the Indiana Fever and the Pacers, on July 18th and 19th.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You go, girl.
A lot of people say that Caitlyn Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. Oh. She dictates. She and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. The economic impact, $36 million. She drove to Indianapolis just by showing up. She moves because she knows people follow her no matter where she goes, and she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
I do agree with her.
Okay.
I am just disappointed in some of the points she negated to break up. That 3-point contest between Ionescu and Steph Curry, the event was the most watched NBA All-Star Saturday night in 4 years. In 4 years. She's putting the WNBA first.
Boy, it's a different tune. Stephen A was first on the scene with this one, though. I got to give him props for that. Of the acceptance of the Caitlyn Clark effect. But boy, we got receipts, and boy, it's funny to see how many people were stubborn to this. And look, if you got another reason other than her color, give it to me. But how in the hell didn't people see this coming? People saw this not only coming, saw it happening, and still were like, nah. And now, since we have the power to look back retroactively, right? The 2020 hindsight. Everyone could see the receipts of, whoa, Caitlyn Clark was it. That was it. You got termed a sellout if you didn't say Angel Reese in the same name. I still hear people qualifying when they talk about the league. They'll throw Angel Reese in there. Ooh, that thing too loud. What's up, baby? What up? Y'all good? Yeah, we're good. All right. She ain't worked out in how long? Let me stop. Oh, man. The fan. Threw me off.
With months still to go before the WNBA All-Star Game, Caitlyn Clark's name is everywhere, not just because of her incredible performance on the court, but also due to debates that have little to do with basketball. As the WNBA's #1 overall draft pick, Clark has significantly raised interest in women's basketball. However, as a white player, her rise to fame has sparked some culture wars, particularly on social media. On top of that, there have been heated discussions about her playing abilities and why she didn't make the USA Basketball Olympic roster. Despite staying away from the drama on social media, Clark's name continues to be part of these intense debates. Now, she's speaking out about it. Clark was recently asked how she feels about being caught up in these conversations, even though she's kept a low profile. The reigning Athletic of the Year shared that people should stop using her name to promote hateful agendas. She emphasized that it's something she can't control and doesn't appreciate how others are using her for arguments.
Now you mentioned that, you want to concentrate on basketball, and definitely respect that. But when, just asking you directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women in our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is a league I grew up admiring and wanting to be a part of. Like, some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up and helped me want to achieve this moment right here that I get to play in every single night. So just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them how you would want to be treated, and I think it's very simple.
What was it like for that fundraiser? Like, what was it like to be helping out the community? Also, see you didn't go too easy on that kid with the block.
I didn't go too easy. Come on, he wanted to play me one-on-one. He said he could beat me, so I threw the ball pretty far away. But it's fun when you get out in the community. I think it puts basketball into perspective. Like, those little kids had never been to a Fever game, and they were just begging to come to a Fever game. Like, I think it just shows your impact that you have in this community, but also the amazing opportunities that I've been able to have because of basketball. And I don't think people always realize, like, those interactions.
When asked about the deeper issues behind the ongoing debates, Caitlyn Clark made her stance clear. She believes every player in the league deserves the same respect. She specifically addressed how some people have used her name to fuel racist and misogynistic arguments, saying that it's unfair and unacceptable. Despite this, Clark remains focused on her game and continues making thoughtful decisions, including turning down a major opportunity at the WNBA All-Star Weekend. This decision to decline an invitation to compete in the three-point contest sparked plenty of reactions. Some critics, like ESPN analyst David Dennis Jr., were upset, feeling Clark had no excuse for turning it down. However, Clark explained her reasoning ahead of the skills challenge. She admitted that after an intense year in the sport, she needs to prioritize her health and well-being. She also pointed out that the three-point contest is no easy task. It's not just about showing up and shooting from a rack. It's something she hasn't had much time to practice, and with her busy schedule, she felt it was important to rest. Clark confidently stated that there would be plenty of opportunities in the future to participate in such events. And hey, before we wrap up, just a quick reminder, over 98% of people watch our videos without subscribing. It costs nothing, but it really helps us out. So, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much, and now, back to the video.
So, here's Aaliyah Boston stealing the ball and finding Caitlyn Clark on the break. But as soon as she's about to build up a head of steam, Diamond the Shields just bulldozed her out of nowhere, and even laughed it off afterward, as if she had done nothing. Meanwhile, Caitlyn seems already used to this kind of treatment, as she just stands up and walks away. However, it didn't stop her from blurting out sweet nothings on the Shields. Cause you see, that was actually the third time she fouled her hard in just 38 seconds. much to the approval and support of the biggest Caitlyn Clark hater of all time. I mean, this was not just a random act of violence directed at CC, because based on this interesting stat right here, 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season have been committed against Caitlyn, and weirdly enough, 80% of those came from Angel Reese and her Chi-Town crew. This was the last matchup between the Sky and the Fever this season, and it's pretty clear that the close pals of Angel Reese are trying their best to take out Caitlyn so she would not have any chance to win the Rookie of the Year award. And see, not only players like the Shields are looking to put Caitlyn out of the race, because recently ESPN released their latest rookie rankings, and in that article they put Angel Reese at the #1 spot over Caitlyn. Even though everybody knows that CC has better stats overall than Reese this season, and the Fever has a better win-loss record than the Sky. I mean, heading to this highly anticipated clash, the Rookie of the Year race was somehow considered to be pretty much a toss-up between Caitlyn and Angel Reese, which is why there's no doubt in anyone's mind that whoever comes up on top in this particular game would surely take home the Rookie of the Year trophy. Anyway, with that being said, let's quickly jump right into the action. Caitlyn starts things off by showcasing her vision as she locates Nalissa Smith for the uncontested bucket underneath.
On her shoulders to be more aggressive.
Then, she hops in for a 3, coming off a brush screen from AB.
Marks for 3.
Before blowing by her defender here to finish all the way to the hole. CC was on the roll early, and moments later, she wowed the crowd with back-to-back mind-blowing dimes. First, she sets up Kelsey Mitchell for their patented backdoor play, and after stealing the ball from Angel Reese, CC threads the needle here with this bounce pass to Temi on the run, who then converted the and one.
Wins the bat! Crack the needle, my goodness!
Caitlyn played the entire first quarter and finished with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Angel Reese, on the other hand, was hitting the side of the backboard to end up with 2 points. Anyway, in the second frame, Caitlyn starts to heat up early as she hits back-to-back triples to put the Fever ahead.
First quarter, Clark again! Heating up!
Then, after that, she throws a touchdown pass to Erica Wheeler before feeding Damaris Dantas for the foul line.
Caitlyn Clark has had an incredible year. After leading Iowa to the March Madness Championship game, she was selected first overall by the Indiana Fever in the WNBA draft. At just 22 years old, she's had an impressive start to her WNBA career, setting multiple records and leading the league with 8.2 assists per game. Clark isn't the only star turning down the three-point contest. New York Liberty's Sabrina Ionescu also declined the invitation without giving a reason. The competition will still feature some big names, including Jonquil Jones from New York, Alicia Gray from Atlanta, Marina May from Connecticut, Stephanie Dolson from Washington, and Kayla McBride from Minnesota. Clark shared that she's excited about the talent in the contest, noting that all the shooters are near 40% from beyond the arc. While she won't be participating, she's looking forward to supporting the competitors. The absences of Clark and Ionescu will certainly be felt at the competition in Phoenix, especially since both are among the league's top three-point shooters. Clark has hit 71 shots from deep this season, ranking third in the league despite having a 32.7% accuracy rate from 3. Ionescu is second, with 74 three-pointers on the season, but her shooting accuracy stands at 35.6%. Despite all the attention and debate surrounding her, Clark is staying focused on her game. Now in her second season, she's leading the Fever with averages of 16.3 points, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. Clark mentioned that the noise surrounding her hasn't affected her relationship with her team. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to check out some of our other content currently on the screen.